Hello, so it is Monday evening, so I thought that I would just do kind of a normal study vlog. No events. Well, there are some events going on, but there is a reading challenge for the month, which is just to read a book in your target language, and then we're doing a cozy reading habit tracker thing in the mini immersion Discord. In addition, Diana at Diana Lingual is doing some October challenges, so I want to do those as well. It's funny because I'm trying to listen to all of the Radio Ambulante podcasts, and last week I listened to the ones from 2016, which there were only a couple, and 2017. And so I was like, oh yeah, I should be able to do 2018 this week. And then the world is just like conspiring against me. So first of all, for some reason the USB thing in my car stopped working randomly today. So I don't know whether that's permanent or just temporary, but I had to try to listen to them like out of my phone speakers. And then I'm also training someone at work. We will see how much I'm able to get through this week, but it probably will not be as much, but I'm still going to try to get through the 2018 ones. And then I am starting to plan my Spain trip, and so this week I have randomly selected Barcelona, so I'm going to plan that. But I am so sleepy, like I cannot even explain to you how tired I am right now with like no particularly good reason. So this is going to be an interesting evening of just wanting to go to sleep the whole time. So wow, this is bright. Okay, so it's like 9:30 now. So I mostly just planned trip things and then did my class. I've just been scrolling since my class because it didn't really go that well, and yeah, so I mean it was okay, but it just wasn't very fun, and I was very excited about this topic, so like it's kind of a bummer, you know. I didn't vibe with the teacher well. I'm sure that no teachers will find this video, but if they do, I'm very sorry. I made a lot of really stupid mistakes at the very beginning, like doing the class this late after working is kind of hard. Like I don't like 8 p.m. classes. So anyway, it was just not good vibes. And it wasn't that bad. I'm being dramatic. But, you know, when I spend money on classes, I want them to be good every single time, which is not realistic. So I am going to take a shower, get ready for bed, and then if I have time, try to fit in a little bit of reading. Hello. So I had a terrible headache when I got home from work, and so I took a nap, and now I don't even know what year it is, let alone anything else. But we are gonna try to do some reading. I got this book, Los Señores del Narco. I listened to an episode of Radio Ambulante. There was an episode about her and other journalists in Mexico. I said on Instagram, I don't normally get into the narco stuff. I haven't watched the show. I haven't done any of it. It is a bit chunky, but now I'm very tempted to start it. Obviously, I should not do that because I have 10 books on my currently reading right now. I am going to read some of La Sombra del Viento. I initially wanted to do some of my B2 course this week, and hopefully I will still get to it, but man, this week is just taking it out of me, so it probably won't be till later this week, maybe the weekend when I have a little bit more chill time. I really need to get up so I don't fall back asleep. I started to watch like 10 minutes of this documentary about Catalonian independence, and I was immediately overwhelmed by how much I don't know about Spanish politics, and so I had to stop and do a lot of Googling. So I still don't know that much, but I at least know like political parties and stuff. So hello, so it is Friday. I just had a lingoda class. I can't remember if I talked about my one last night already or not. I don't think I did. I had one last night, and then I had one as soon as I finished work today, and the one last night was really good. I was the only student in the class, which was kind of nice. It could have been bad, it depends on the teacher, but I got along fairly well with that teacher, and we had a good conversation and stuff. And then the one today, it wasn't bad or anything, but I was talking to people on the mini immersion Discord about this. Like, it is an unsung skill for language teachers, or probably teachers of anything, to be honest, but especially language teachers, to know when, like, how much feedback to give. And I don't just mean like when you should correct people, but like how in depth to go. Like, the two things that specifically happened in this class were mistakes with ser versus estar and genders. But I've seen this happen with other classes as well, and other topics and stuff. Like, the ones that I'm taking are in like the level of B1 right before you go into B2. And so you're, talking to B1, B2 students, you probably don't need to explain if you're making a correction about gender. We all know, we just don't necessarily always use it correctly. But anyway, that's just a language lesson pet peeve of mine. So yeah, it is Friday, as I said. I have been doing a lot this week, but it's just been like boring stuff. Like, I've just had such a weird week. Like, the work week has felt eternal, like so long, but then after work every day it feels like I barely have time to do anything. So today I am probably going to try to read. I do want to read some news stories because I have barely done that this week. This week I have been doing so much podcasts. I have been listening to podcasts like crazy. I'm just in a podcast mood. I'm not even listening to audiobooks. I'm just listening to podcasts. And I did just put out a video talking about some of the platforms that I'm listening to podcasts in. So it's just, I'm in my podcast era. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going with it. So yeah, I really haven't been, other than the occasional YouTube video, I haven't been consuming anything in English. And that's not like, it's not that I have made that rule for myself. It's just that kind of over the month of October, I do kind of want to mostly focus on just Spanish and languages. And the other thing that's been fun is that yesterday I started dabbling in Catalan, because the origin of this was really funny, because to me at least, it was funny to me. So, I'm planning Barcelona, and so I am trying to look up things to do, and of course, me being the person that I am, one of the things that I want to visit in every single city is bookstores. And so I'm looking up all these bookstores, and I'm like, this is so strange. I had saved a couple, and then I noticed that they all are spelled with two L's, like libreria, all have two L's, and in Spanish it's one L. And so I'm like just staring at these like, what? Is this like a chain or something? That's what I thought initially when I had only seen like two of them. And then I was like, oh my god, I bet it's Catalan. And it is. It has two L's in Catalan. And so, but like, this took me way too long to think of. I started just doing a little bit of Duolingo, and then I'm listening to the podcast from Couch Polyglot, which is great. Like, if you already have a decent level of Spanish, then I would definitely recommend that podcast. Like, the first episode, I was like, oh God. You know, I was kind of like, I cannot understand very much, but you do really get used to it. Like, there's obviously vocabulary that's completely different, and I haven't, you know, gotten used to that because that's not possible. But other than that, and I'm enjoying it. It's really fun. It's like a slight mental challenge, but a very, very minor one compared to learning like a different language. Even learning something like French, you know, obviously the mutual comprehensibility is way, way lower. So anyway, I'm gonna stop chattering and go do something now. So hello. So it is Saturday evening at this point. Terribly, I had to do very annoying errands. I just watched a movie with the mini version folks, The Bone Woman or something like that, which is a horror movie, and it was very good. I really liked it. I mean, that was in Spanish, but other than that, I haven't done too much today. So I do still want to get some stuff done. I'm probably going to just read for a little bit. It's the first day that it's like really cold outside. Well, really cold. It's not cold, but like cold comparatively. And so last night I was like, basically got done with everything and then was like, run to the park so that I can spend some time outside before the temperature drops like 30 degrees overnight. It's depressing, but okay. So it is Saturday evening, or nighttime really. I have done very little. I watched some TV. I read a little bit of 2 books, but mostly I've just been kind of like doing nonsense most of the day, which has not really felt good, you know, but I also just have not been able to get it together, like, ow. So I need to figure out something to do about my currently reading. I have like 12 books on my currently reading. These are the ones I've been kind of focusing on, but oh my god, it's such a disaster. I've been reading Slumpy for like a month now, and so I just keep starting more books, hoping that something's gonna snap me out of it. And thus far, nothing has worked. It's not that I don't like them, they just haven't been working for their intended purpose. There's only like 45 minutes until I will want to go to bed, so I will probably just settle in for some reading. Hello. So it is Monday, and I just got back from work recently, and I did my little planning. I didn't think about filming it, but that would have made sense. So I have a lingoda class at 7. I only have like this week and then one more week left on my month of lingoda. So I have 4 classes this week, and then I'll have to do 4 again next week, and then I will have used up my credits. So I think based on the pictures, the class that I have tonight, there's a YouTuber in it. I just saw the picture and I was like, wait a minute, I think I know who that is. Forget what I was gonna say. Mostly I'm just feeling very discombobulated, which is probably a very accurate week in my life. I did not necessarily get everything that I wanted to get done, but some things, yes. I did finish my TV show yesterday that I was watching, the show Traición. I got started again on listening to Radio Ambulante. I'm about halfway through 2018. Long way to go, but we're making progress again. I think I have about an hour until my class, so I think I'm going to do my Lingalia course first. I was going to do it after, but I think it will be better to do it first, maybe. Oh my god. Things that I never saw coming. So I was in that class and I saw on the little previews, you know, of who was going to be in the class that a YouTuber was going to be in it, like I mentioned. And so then I start the class and I was the first one in, and so the teacher was talking to me. The next person joined, and he was asking her something, and she was like, oh, like, I love your YouTube or whatever. And I was like, thinking that the other person, that the YouTuber had joined, and then she held up this graphic novel that I have talked about and was like, I'm reading this because you recommended it. So hello, if you're watching. I can't even believe that happened. Honestly, that's never occurred to me that could happen. It never occurred to me that I could get recognized anywhere, not gonna lie. It should have occurred to me that it could happen in online language classes. To be fair, that probably should have occurred to me, but it did not. But that was delightful. It was very nice to sort of be able to talk to you a little bit. Feel free to pick up the conversation if you want. But yeah, anyway, that just made my whole evening. I probably was very unable to say anything coherent for the whole class, so there's that. That was a very nice energy boost for the evening. So now I am going to do some small workout things and take a shower and try to read a little bit before I go to sleep. So I will end this vlog here, and I hope that you guys are having a wonderful week, day, time zone, wherever you are, and I will see you in the next video.